Well, we got Mars changing signs, and every time Mars changes signs,
I don't think we can hear your microphone. There.
I have to turn it on
Yeah,
myself.
that's a lot better when it's
Mason's gone. We have to do all this stuff ourselves.
on. Yeah.
Alrighty, so Mars is changing signs. Mars takes about 6 weeks to go through a sign of the zodiac, and it's been in Virgo for the last 6 weeks. Well, as of Monday, it went into the sign of Libra. So wherever Mars is where we put our ego into things, where we project not our conscious energy, but our ego, where we really want to put some activity to work. So when it changes signs, your emphasis shifts. So I thought I would go through that for the 12 signs of the zodiac. But I got to say right off the bat, I think it's good for the Rays because we have a lot of air and fire signs on that team, and Mars and Libra is great for them. So I thought I would start with Leo. Mars in their third house means the pace of their day-to-day living picks up dramatically, like to warp speed. They've been busy spending a bunch of money the last 6 weeks or so, and now that focus shifts to their day-to-day living, and they're going to bite off even more than they can chew if that's possible. Leo's full of energy, full of ideas, and full of putting things into motion, and legal things. Contracts go really well for them. For Virgos, and I don't know how this can be, but they spend a ton of, and it scares me, being a Virgo, a ton of money over the next 6 weeks or so. And it's in beautifying things. This is not for fixing things that are broken down. This is for beautifying or increasing the value of something. But there are a lot of unanticipated, whatever it is that the Virgo is thinking about doing, they need to know it's going to cost more, way more than they thought it was going to cost in order to get what it is that they want. So it's a spending money time for Virgos. For Libras, Mars is in their sign for the first time in 22 months. And Libras are fired up about advancing their own interests. Normally, Libras are the most team-oriented of all of the signs of the zodiac. They work very well in a group setting or in a team. But for the next 6 weeks or so, it's going to be about the Libra, advancing the Libra's wants and the Libra's needs, and then getting what it is that they desire on a variety of levels. It's also a really good time for Libras to embark on a diet or some sort of new health plan, kind of fire up their life. For Scorpios, I got to tell you, this is a rough 6 weeks. Mars is in their 12th house. They're going to be dealing with a lot of issues that they should have dealt with over the last few years or so, but said, yeah, I'll get to it when I have time. Well, the time is now, and Scorpios may look for some help from behind-the-scenes people rather than, they have more allies than they know. And a couple of them actually come forward over the next 6 weeks or so to help the Scorpio out. For Sagittarians, it is time for them to reach a long-standing hope, wish, goal, or objective. They've spent the last 6 weeks knocking down career walls that have gotten in their way. Their attention was focused on their professional image, being the boss, or advancing professionally. Now is the time they've made all of those advancements. Now it's time to put that into their day-to-day living and to actually execute. Sort of like, okay, you got what you asked for, now can you go ahead and deliver it? That's the challenge, and they're not going to be able to do it alone.
Okay.
They will need a team of people to help them do that. It's not an individual time for Sagittarius. It's a good time for them to be a team player, and they kind of personify team playing. For Capricorns, it is career and public standing. There's a lot of activity going around for Capricorns, either going back to work, increasing the work, getting a promotion, or actually it's more work. It's not necessarily more money, but it is more work for them in a professional capacity, and they may get the opportunity to consolidate 2 jobs into one, which is always a fun thing. For Aquarians, Mars is in their 9th house of the law, of higher education, of legal and educational matters, and if they've been waiting for some sort of contract or negotiation to begin, it starts now. If they've been under legal duress, it gets resolved over the next 6 weeks or so, and the outcome is particularly favorable for Aquarians. So ordinarily I'm a big fan of settling, but in this case the Aquarian is going to get a much better shake if they go forward with it. For Pisces, they are the other side spending a ton of money, and where Virgo is spending money on anticipated expenses, Pisces are going to be spending money on unanticipated expenses. Pisces are the guys where their AC has been limping around, and it finally dies, and they make that called a calico. It's that kind of a thing where it's not a matter of, God, I want to spend this money. I have no choice but to spend this money, and I just hope that Pisces take the time to make sure they get what they pay for. For Aries, oh boy, Mars in their 7th house of partners. Their partners have a whole lot to say, and Aries aren't going to really want to hear it, but they're going to hear it, and most likely in stereo. Aries are going to have to find a way to meet their partner halfway. Aries are one of the most headstrong of the signs. And this time it's not I, me for the Aries. This time they really need to work in conjunction with somebody. They really need to work with their partners rather than against them. And Aries have to be really careful. They're going to be the Robert Conrads of the Zodiac. Oh, knock this off my shoulder. I don't think that's a good plan because they're not going to win that fight. They will next year, but not this year. Excuse me. For Taurus, Mars is in their 6th house of work. They have a lot of work they have to do, and this is not glamorous work. This is the hard day-to-day work of getting things running and doing their jobs to the best of their ability. I don't expect them to get a whole lot of ego gratification out of it, but 6 weeks from now, when Mars is done with that transit, then they find that the fruits of their efforts pay off. The fruits of their labors come to be. And also Taurus they're afraid about a health matter, and the outcome is not as bad as they are afraid it's going to be. For Geminis, it's in their 5th house, so we just want to have fun. Geminis are out for a good time. They're on vacation. They're just enjoying themselves immensely. Their love life is ratcheting up. They have enough energy to want to pursue that kind of thing. If they're single, then it's a good time to meet someone. If they're married, that goes well. If they want kids, that's very likely. If they don't want kids, they better be proactive about that. But it's a very creative time for the Gemini. And then the last sign of the zodiac for Cancers, they are uprooting things at home. They want to spend the next 6 weeks nailing down their foundations. They are doing things in their home. They're either remodeling their home, fixing their home up, dealing with things that they have been putting off for probably 6 months or so in their home. The time is now for them to do it. So it is upheaval at home and change at home. But at the end of that 6 weeks, their home will be a much safer, more secure, solid base of operations for them to run their life out of. So I kind of like Mars in Libra. I think it's good energy. And we've had such a tough cross in the sky as far as where the planets are that after about Friday, this serves largely to give us all a break, which I think the Earth could use.
We need it.
So that's tomorrow's news today for the 12 signs of the zodiac. And Andrew and both Nikki being Libra is going to be very feisty.
That's
feisty. Yeah,
right.
You bet.
The Hump Day Horoscopes are brought to you by 1-800-ASK-GARY.
My favorite guy.
The information is going to be on our website, right?
Yes, Andrew, as soon as he gets it up.
And the video, too?
I hope so, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I know, I just realized that.
Okay, go to our website, myq105.com.